Xander, congratulations on the PGA Championship win. How special have the last 2 weeks been, considering you're now a major winner and that sort of lasts for eternity next to your name?
Yeah, it's first, thanks for having me on, and yes, it's an amazing feeling. It's waking up the last couple of weeks have been incredible. I received so much support. I get constant support from my team, but to get sort of a lot of support from my hometown and my playing partners and competitors, it's been really special.
Xander, when you start off as a golfing professional, winning a major is the big target. Now, you've been close before, and what did you tell yourself through those 27 previous major starts when you did not return home with a major trophy?
Just to keep working. It's very relatable. When you go through life and something doesn't go your way, you just respond to it how I was sort of taught to respond to it, and how I've always responded. I got back down and went back to the range and practiced and met with my team, and we tried to figure out why I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. And super lucky to have good team around me, but they just kept pushing me forward, and I kept telling myself that I'll be able to get to the top of the mountain at some point. I just need to stay patient and keep working hard.
Now, Xander, just going through your records from 2 weeks ago, you broke a host of records through that week in Valhalla. The lowest score at a major, the largest 18-hole lead at the US PGA. There are 2 big weeks coming up now for you, the Memorial Tournament, Jack Nicklaus's tournament, and then the US Open. How important have these signature events been in your preparation for the major championships?
Very important. I think, Quail Hollow leading into Valhalla has been was tough. Quail Hollow is a really tough test. It's a really big golf course. It was actually, pretty similar in terms of driving to Valhalla, just based on, difficulty and demand off the tee. So Memorial is very difficult. It's, depending on how the weather is, it can play like a US Open. So I honestly think, it's going to be a really long stretch with these elevated events, with a major in between them. But it's definitely a really good preparation for us pros.
Xander, you've been playing some outstanding golf. Just looking at your stats, you've got, what, 20 top 10 since the start of the 2022-2023 season, and only Scottie Scheffler has more. Do you think that the US PGA win is sort of a pressure release for you, which sets you off on your quest for the world #1 ranking, and perhaps to stack up the wins that we're seeing Nelly Korda and Scottie Scheffler do?
Yeah, I think, yeah, a few questions there. One, Nelly's won so many. It's an unbelievable, accomplishment what she's done, and made her mark in women's history. So that is so, winning 6 times, 6 of 7 or 5 of 6, whichever one it is, it's been unbelievable. Truly special mark, and couldn't be happier for her. Scottie is so far ahead in the world ranking. It's pretty cool for me to win a major championship, but when you look up the ranking, I'm closer to 12th place, that to be in 12th place, or me between 12th versus me versus first. So I have a lot of work to do. Scottie's he's been playing unbelievable golf. He's been doing it for such a long time. It is very inspiring and very motivating for me. So I'm willing and happy to once again put my head down, talk with my team, figure it out, and try and chase him to be the best player in the world.
Now, since you were mentioning Scottie Scheffler, it's been a huge win for him in court the day before yesterday. Now, moving on, you come from a sporting family where your forefathers played multiple sports with distinction. How excited are you about defending your Olympic title in Paris? And I got to ask you, how special was it to win the Olympic gold medal in Tokyo, which is so valued by so many sportspersons across the world, considering your family's background?
It's an incredible feeling. Yeah, when you get up on the podium, you hear the national anthem. It's as cool as you can possibly imagine. It's something I'll never forget, no doubt. And then with my family tie into the situation, yeah, it is something that is so special between, my father and I. Something, he was, a lot of members of my family at one point or another were trying to be Olympians, compete, on the German side, and to be able to sort of punch through and punch my ticket to the Olympics was already so special in itself. And then, to win the gold medal was a cherry on top. And I'm very excited and, honored to be able to qualify back and compete in Paris. And there'll be a lot of pressure, but I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Okay, now, you've been very vocal about the fracture in professional golf. Ratings for the US PGA, as I mentioned at the start, were up because of the battle you had with Bryson DeChambeau and how interesting it got right at the end. Do you miss those battles, and do you think it's time for the game to get back together again, because there are lots of negotiations going on behind closed doors?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think as a player, every once in a while, we have certain responsibility to uphold or speak up on certain things. I think if the ratings were up for the PGA, I mean, I would definitely say that it'd probably be a good time to get the game back at some point. I think that is what is trying to happen behind closed doors. I'm not sure what's happening, but I think they're trying to push towards that direction, just because, when you have all the best players in the world playing, you get some dramatic finishes, and I was definitely part of one a few weeks ago.
Xander, while we are here to talk about your triumph, I have to ask you about what happened last week, because your sport battled a terrible tragedy. Now, sport at the top level is extremely competitive. It's also extremely brutal. But how can the tour and players like you keep an eye out for those who are perhaps facing their personal battles away from the course?
Yeah, what happened is definitely very tragic. I think, we are a brotherhood at the end of the day. When you look at the PGA Tour, there are a lot of players that were very close to Grayson. I actually played a few holes with Grayson at Valhalla, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure the tour will come up with some sort of program, some sort of outreach program that can be private if you want it to be private, or can be group if you want it to be a group. Just any way to get help if you feel like you're not in the right place. So, yeah, it's definitely, it was shocking news to me, to everyone. And, my heart goes out to his family and everyone that sort of supported him in his career, because it's just, he's too young to do something like that. And it's definitely very tragic and very sad.
Yes, our thoughts are with the family of Grayson Murray and his loved ones. Hopefully the tour, Xander, listens to what you have been saying, and hopefully the brotherhood, as you mentioned, comes together. On that note, thank you for your time. 2 big weeks coming up for you at the Memorial and at the US Open, and hopefully you go out there and stand on the top of the podium again at the Olympics.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.